Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of To the Magic and Beyond. I am Jordan, and I'm here with my co-host Michelle.
Hey guys.
And we are here to talk a little bit more Universal.
Yeah.
We got to do kind of a post-trip chat about a visit my husband and I just got to do. And one of the things while I was there was learned a lot about the upcoming Epic Universe.
Yeah,
that
it's
is
a big deal. It's the hottest. It's going to be the hottest ticket in Orlando.
Yes,
because Disney doesn't have anything new right now. They're starting it.
Yeah. And this I did learn while I was there, which is it felt mind-boggling in the moment. Maybe it won't be to everybody else, but they told us that this is the first full theme park that will be opening in Orlando since Islands of Adventure.
Well, and it makes sense because, you think about it, when Disney opened Animal Kingdom, it opened with a lot of animals and different things. So they've built the rides as they go, but it wasn't a opened up, fully finished,
functioning.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, hey,
and
here's this tree.
And pretty much all we've had over the last few years, understandably from all of them, is new lands opening, right? Or maybe a new ride or something.
Exactly.
But this is going to be a full on brand new theme park with multiple lands, multiple rides, shows, restaurants,
character
meet and greets. It's gonna be a big deal, and so it's kind of pretty cool to be around for something like that and to get to see how well it does and the response to it. And from what I've heard, I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I'm intrigued, and I'm a Disney loyalist, so to speak, and I'm intrigued. I'm planning on going in 2026, specifically for Epic, right? I want to see Epic, and I still haven't done Hagrid's, so I've got to catch up.
Which could be a good time to go because hopefully the lines won't be as bad.
I can
for
hit
that
a day
with
over
the split
there
of Epic.
Yeah, exactly. And so you were there. You got to have some meetings, right, for work.
Yeah,
with the travel agency, and so you guys got all kinds of great updates, and that's really what this episode's about. We just want to know what's coming and what information you can give us and talk about, because there's going to be some resorts, right?
3 brand new resorts opening with it. Just so much is coming. So we got to see they had a mini model of the whole park that we got to look at just to kind of see really how massive this thing is going to be. So that was cool. But there's so much coming, and we got to kind of get a little preview and some notes as far as what each land is going to have, the rides, what you're going to get to experience. And we just wanted to kind of go over that with you guys and give you a little preview as we're getting closer and closer to the opening.
Well, and I think let's dive in. Tell me about size though real quick, because you kind of talked about it. So right now, currently, there's Islands, right, of Adventure, and then there's Universal. So now this is going to be Epic. Is Epic the size of both of those together?
Yeah, Epic is going to be basically the two of those put together. I think size-wise, it's probably going to feel like and be a little more similar to a Magic Kingdom.
Oh, wow.
So, Universal Studios and Islands have a lot, but they're both, I feel like, on the smaller side. The smaller footprint, a lot easier to get around. And this is definitely, it's going to be a full-day park, if not a multi-day park.
So that is a lot.
We'll see how the lines. Yeah, we'll see how the lines end up being, but you're going to want to spend a full day here.
Gotcha.
So that makes Universal itself, especially with the other parks that are there, it's starting to make it more of that, full week trip, which is what Universal wants, and very smart of them to do. But it's going to be large. It's going to have a lot of different lands. So that's kind of also a little bit similar of a feel, right, to our Magic Kingdom, where we have the different lands that we can go into. So I think that's probably going to be our best comparison and expectation
of size. And because most people going to Disney give 2 days for Magic Kingdom. If you're not just there and for a limited amount of time and doing one park per day. A lot of people, I know my family, if we're going to be there for a week, we're going to hit Magic Kingdom twice. It's because you can kind of gauge it. And so this sounds a lot like that, just based on size, and then making, like you said, they need a week. Universal's not had a week. There's not been a need to spend a week there. And now
you could just kind of pop over for a day or two, add it on to your Disney vacation, that type of a thing. But if you're wanting to see all of the parks, and especially Epic, it's going to be a multi-day experience now.
So what about the ticket? So what are they saying about tickets?
Tickets right now are a little bit tricky. At least this is current now.
Right.
As we know with the theme parks, things can change.
Oh yeah.
Very quickly. But currently speaking, they're not going to have a capacity, so to speak.
Okay.
But what they're doing is any tickets that you're buying, so May 22nd right now is the planned opening.
Okay.
And as far as I've heard, should be on schedule. They've started cast member previews. I think they're going to be starting annual pass holder previews soon. So everything seems to be going good. So I think May 22nd we will see supposed to be full park. Everything, all systems go. But if you're purchasing tickets right now, it's going to be you only get a 1-day Epic.
Oh.
As of right now, you can't buy more than 1 day unless you're buying multiple ticket packages. So in order to get your 1-day Epic, outside of annual pass holders, they're a little different. They can buy 1-day tickets, and there might be opportunities that pop up as we get closer. But as of right now, you have to purchase a 2-day park-to-park ticket for Islands and Universal, and that will come with a 3rd day only for Epic. So no park hopping to Epic, just 1 day, 1 full day there, and then you can park hop to the other 2.
Okay.
But currently, the only way to get it is as part of a multi-day ticket package.
At least a 3-day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's what we're seeing right now. But we did hear that there might possibly be some other ticket options. So we'll see as we move forward. I don't know how soon we'll get them. It might depend on kind of how those first few weeks go with opening and how the crowds work out. But eventually, obviously, they'll open up to where you can buy more days and do all that. Well, they're going to watch,
since they're not going to do a capacity, this is kind of a way for them to handle capacity because they know everybody's coming. Like for all of our Nintendo friends, and I know we're going to talk about the lands and the characters and all that, but I know Nintendo's a big part.
Yes.
And it is for I'm 70s, 80s kid, so I remember when Nintendo came out, so it's going to be a big deal. Super Mario Land, right?
So excited for that.
So tell us, kind of give us an overview of the lands.
Yeah. So there's going to be, I think we've got 4 major lands. So the whole idea of it is that you're walking into this main area, which is going to be called Celestial Park, and it's very kind of like star and space themed. And that's your starting point, and then you're going to have portals off into these other lands. Like you walk through a portal.
Like a video game.
And you're supposed to be transferred to these new worlds. So I think we're going to see very immersive theming like we've gotten with Harry Potter already. I think Universal figured out that they can do that well and kind of how to execute that. So you kind of start off in this Celestial Park area. There's going to be some restaurants up there. They're going to have a roller coaster. It's going to be, I would say it back to people that may have been familiar with Dueling Dragons.
Okay.
It's going to be a roller coaster that races alongside each other. So it's going to be called the Stardust Racers. It's apparently supposed to be like close enough that it almost feels like you can reach out and touch the coaster next to you. Obviously, safety reasons, you can't actually touch the coaster next to you, but it's supposed to be like
I'm going to let you ride that and you can tell me about it later.
It's supposed to be a groundbreaking kind of technology. Like you're literally racing, and then there's points where you're like kind of inverted over each other and different stuff. So big roller coaster right off the bat over there. But then they're also going to have a carousel. So for our littles, they're going to have a carousel that's kind of, they said more of an upgraded version of the classic carousel. So they said that it'll be tame and for little ones, but a little more unique than what we've seen before. So I'm kind of excited to see what they do with the carousel there. But then I said like they're going to have a couple of restaurants. So very cool. They said it's going to be very like park-esque. So lots of trees, lots of landscaping, just a very beautiful, almost like an oasis kind of feeling when you go in there. So right off the bat, you're just kind of hit with this boom kind of outer world experience. And then as you mentioned before, we've got Super Nintendo World, which their Hollywood version does have a form of this. So if you have gone to the Hollywood version, you've gotten to see a kind of a sneak peek into what this is going to look like. I think overseas they also have in Japan a Super Nintendo World. So this is something maybe some people have seen before, but I'm very excited about. Yeah. And it's going to be like, like those, but way bigger.
Gotcha.
So you're going to get to go into your portal into Super Nintendo World, and you're going to have a Mario Kart ride, which is going to be super cool.
Mario Kart.
I love Mario Kart.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. You're going to have a Mario Kart ride. They're going to have a Donkey Kong section.
I love Donkey
Kong. And they're going to have, it's called Minecart Madness.
Okay.
And it's a roller coaster type thing. Again, lots of new technology over here. We'll see how it works, but supposedly it's going to be similar to like it looks like at points your cart is going off the track. Kind of like you see in the video game and stuff like that. So again, lots.
I'm gonna let
you're
some
not
of this
actually going off the track, but somehow visually,
my whole motion sickness just got triggered. So I'm glad that it's gonna be a minute, so I can see how these rides work. But, but some of them, sound really great.
Supposedly some super cool technology coming, and then they're also for Yoshi fans. They're gonna have a Yoshi ride that I think is gonna be similar to kind of a people mover. So you get to sit in like a Yoshi character, and it takes you all around the Nintendo area, and you get to kind of see everything. So a little more slow paced, and all of these ones, pretty much everything at Epic, there's going to be a lot more of your kid friendly rides, right? Which is one thing that we've kind of noted before. Maybe Universal a little bit lacking for that younger age. There's going to be a lot more height friendly rides here,
and those are perfect for me. I'm excited.
So those are there. They're gonna have Toadstool Cafe, which is gonna be a Toad themed cafe, which Toad is my favorite, so I'm very excited about that. But one of the cool things in this land though is it's gonna have a lot of interactions like the video game. So you can buy a power-up band and you can link it to your Universal app, and you can go through the land and hit the little blocks and get points and play lots of mini games. And if you beat all the games, it unlocks this extra challenge and stuff.
Cool.
So very immersive, very much like you're in the video game. And then they're also going to have meet and greets with Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach and all of that kind of stuff. So lots and lots of cool things
over there in Mario
going on in Mario. And then also a big hit for the littles. They're gonna, and I'm excited for all of it. But How to Train Your Dragon Land.
Oh, it's so cute.
So cute. We all love Toothless.
Yeah.
They're gonna have this section again. Lots of kid friendly stuff in this area. So if you've got littles, this is a good area to go into.
Okay.
They are going to have a couple of different rides. They have a family coaster over here. So it's going to be called Hiccup's Wing Glider.
Cute.
So cute little family-friendly coaster that you get to go on.
And are we thinking family coaster like Seven Dwarfs or Slinky Dog?
I think it's going to be something along those lines.
So a little adventurous.
But younger kids can go on it. It's not going to go upside down.
Not going to be anything
these are
crazy.
All for Michelle.
Yes, Michelle rides.
I think it'll be right up your alley. It'll be outside, so you kind of ride through the land and get a view of everything. So that one's going to be super cute. There's going to be a kind of they call it the fire drill. So it's like a ship ride, but you get to put out fires with little water guns stuff, because the dragons are practicing and they're setting stuff on fire.
That's cute.
So another kid-friendly ride where you're probably going to get wet, if I had to guess.
Okay. Summertime is hot.
Yes. But kids can shoot little water cannons and put out some fires and kind of ride through a cute little river or lake or something. So that'll be cute. They're going to have a super cool stage show here, which I'm very excited about. Dragons flying over your head type stuff going on. Cool. So the stage show for this is supposedly going to be out of this
Universal
world
hasn't had a ton of shows.
Yes.
So this is really exciting.
Yeah, they used to back in the day, and those were some of my favorite parts, but kind of COVID happened.
Yeah.
A lot of the shows went away or got kind of replaced by bigger rides, but this show is supposed to be an indoor theater, big theatrical production. So
you can't go wrong with dragons.
Yeah,
folks.
Can't go wrong with dragons.
Dragons are cool.
There's going to be maybe even possibly I've heard some rumors recently about dragons flying in the land, just out.
That's cool
in the air. So the dragon, I don't know if they're animatronics or how it's going to be, but I've heard that it's just the technology is crazy, and you can meet Toothless.
Oh man,
which I think is going to be so cute.
That's so cute because he's so cute.
Yeah, a full on basically a life size.
So kind of over with the Raptor.
Yes.
Over in Jurassic Park land, right?
Yeah. But
this
he's
is
going to be
kid friendly.
Yeah.
kid friendly.
He's just going to be there. Yeah, you can meet Hiccup. I think it's going to be a combined meet and greet. But you can meet him, and I think like 3 of the other dragons are also going to have like different meet and greets. Nice. So pretty unique, cool. Yeah. Very immersive.
And they've been missing out, I think, in the other parks with this park for the kids because Universal's kind of a grown-up park. Yeah. Well, at least teens, right?
A little more
adventurous and thrilling, except for Harry Potter.
And some of the height limits are a little taller than some of your littles. So this will be a good opportunity to bring the kids over to something that they know and love, but also that they can actually ride on this stuff. Yeah. But also just really feel like they're in the world and getting to meet their favorite characters.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Yeah, and I think some of the characters are going to just be walking around kind of in the middle of the land.
Yeah. So it's so neat when you're just, kids are walking, and there's nothing like a kid who's walking through something like that, and a character that they love is just like walking by because they have that look like, are you seeing that?
Yeah. Yeah. Is this real?
They're right there.
And it makes you feel like you're right there in the land. So I'm really excited for that. I cannot wait to see what these dragons look like and to just see what the experience is there with them, because that's just like every kid's dream, but also as an adult, like it's a dragon, right?
I think we've established we're theme park kid adults.
Big kids at heart. So that one's going to be super cool. You are going to have another installment of Harry Potter coming in over here. So
love Harry Potter.
This one's going to be a combination, though, of Harry Potter. It's going to focus more on the Ministry of Magic, which we haven't seen yet in any of the other parks. Right. And that's going to be the big ride attraction over there.
Okay.
So it's supposed, again, I keep saying supposed to be, but it's because we don't know
everything. We haven't seen it yet.
A lot of new technology and kind of stuff you've never seen before. There's some type of elevator ride that's going in. It's not a droppy one like Tower of Terror. But again, they said the way it moves through the ride and how you experience it is like nothing
because the elevator in the ministry is really cool.
Exactly.
Kind of how that works in the movie. Yeah. So I'm assuming they're trying to kind of put that
emulate
into real. Yeah.
Yes. And the way you enter into the Ministry of Magic, you get to go through like the little kind of like fire portal and stuff. So again, it's going to be very immersive. Probably going to feel like you're right there in the movie, which is going to be great for Harry Potter fans. And then the part B to this is they have integrated the Fantastic Beast movies.
Cool. And they're cute. They're very cute.
And so the outside land for this, I think the Ministry of Magic is going to be all inside.
Okay.
The outside part to this is going to be Paris. Oh. And again, to scale. So you're going to walk in.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to feel like you are in
Paris.
Actual Paris.
Cool.
So all of your buildings to scale. They're going to have another show back in there, kind of like a circusy show. You can get more restaurants back there.
Okay.
New wands that you can buy. New wand experiences, because that's something that they have where if you get the interactive wands, there's areas in the parks that you can go to. So continuing over here, if you have wands from the other parks, still working here. Don't worry.
Gotcha.
You don't have to buy a new wand.
We have a few of those at home, but go ahead.
But again, new wand experiences, lots of cute stuff back there. 1920s Paris is going to kind of be the theme, though. So again, you're going to feel immersed, and then you've got a little bit more of that extra Harry Potter for those Harry Potter fans that want more. And then the last land, which may not be as kid-friendly, but it's supposed to not be, it's not going to be like jump scary. But it's called Dark Universe.
Okay.
And its whole theming is the classic Universal monsters. So that was kind of Universal's, that was one of their big in the film industry. They were very much well known for Frankenstein, Dracula, the werewolf, all of that stuff, Frankenstein's bride. So this whole area is going to be dedicated to honoring the monsters. Now they said it'll be probably a little bit spooky for your younger crowd, but it's not like Halloween Horror Nights where they're trying to jump out and scare you. Right?
Yeah, that's good.
It's more of just that classic thrill. And the theme of it is, I think the land is called Darkmoor.
Okay.
So it's basically this village. So you're going to be immersed in basically what it might feel like to live in a village where these monsters like actually existed. And so it's going to be super immersive. I'm not a big horror person at all. but I don't like to be scared.
Right.
But I'm really intrigued by this area. It might be one that I'm like most intrigued by because it just sounds cool.
Right.
Like very intriguing. They're going to have a werewolf roller coaster back here. So that's going to be another one of your big roller coasters. Going to go upside down, all those things. But one of the rides they're going to have back here goes inside like Dr. Frankenstein's mansion. Oh. And you're going to see all the monsters in here. And apparently the animatronics for it are like beyond anything we've ever seen in any ride. They are...
I'm intrigued and slightly scared all at the same time because, I mean, I really like Dracula and Frankenstein, sort of.
But like at a distance.
Yeah, like not real.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to be real. So it sounds like maybe Mom and Dad need to ride this one first.
Check it out first. Probably a little bit more for your olders, but again, it's still so much
to do. And there'll be videos as this opens, guys. There's going to be, people are going to get in there. They're going to be videoing these rides. You're going to get a preview of them before you take your littles so that you know what'll scare them and what won't. Right?
Yeah, so, definitely check it out before you take your littlest of littles back there, and maybe even some of your mid-range kids. But again, they're not trying to make it scary.
Right.
It's supposed to be just kind of experiencing the lore of this town.
You know, I know you and I have, been paying attention to what, Disney villains, right?
Yes.
People want that.
Yeah, they like
there's
that.
a little bit of that. So, like, none of the theme parks have that right now.
Right, yeah.
So, like,
now
Disney's talking about doing it.
Spaces.
Universal's doing it first.
Yep.
So we shall see.
I know. I'm very excited about it. And there's one of the restaurants is called Das Steakhouse, which I think is really funny.
That's good.
And the servers are like vampires. So it's going to be like...
That's pretty cool.
Very immersive. And then you've got Bippity Boppity Boutique at Disney.
Yeah.
Well, here you can go and get made up to look like a monster.
Oh, that's cute.
So there's going to be a full-on makeup
And I got to think somebody's playing Monster Mash somewhere.
Right. Probably
I got to think that's going to be playing on cue.
So if you want to go and you want to look like the werewolf or whatever, they've got a package.
There's going to be
buy.
some boys that are going to love
I
this.
think the age limit, it was like, I think 6 or 7 and older can go and do it. So some of your younger kids can come in, but you can go and get to be a monster. And then they even have meet and greets with Frankenstein and the Wolfman and all of that. So if you're a big monster fan or just kind of intrigued like I am, the classic monsters
I'm probably
have never
not
really
paying
scared
to be
me.
a monster.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that.
I would like to see someone else pay to be one.
I would like to see, because also Universal is very famous for their horror makeup. They've won so many awards for it and stuff. So it's fitting and really cool that they're giving guests the experience to kind of go in and see what that's like firsthand. So if you've ever done at Universal Studios, they have a show called the Rocky Horror Makeup Show, which kind of goes behind the scenes of the monsters and stuff. It used to be one of my favorite shows to go to there, but it kind of just gives you this non-scary behind the scenes look at what it goes into creating those. And I think for me, that's part of what creates that intrigue of this land is like, I enjoyed that part of Universal. Right. So I'm like, I feel like I might enjoy this.
Okay.
But just very curious to see the animatronics, though, because we were talking to a cast member when we were there, and he said that's one of the rides that, like, most of the cast members are most excited to see.
Oh, I bet.
Because of how cool it's supposed to be. So
that kind of covered the lands, right?
Yep. Those are all your main lands.
Now there's going to be some hotels?
Yeah, they've got 3 brand new hotels that are going to be opening up over in that area. So the way this is laid out is you're going to have kind of 2 different Universal campuses now. We've got all of the current resorts in Islands of Adventure, City Walk, and Universal are kind of over in one section. And then if you've ever been to Orlando, they have what's called iDrive.
Right.
That's going to intersect.
Okay.
And then on the other side of iDrive is where Epic Universe is going to go in. Their Endless Summer Resorts right now are over on that side. If anyone stayed at like Dockside or Surfside, they do have a couple resorts over there right now. But they're going to have 3 brand new resorts. So Stella Nova and Terra Luna are going to add into your prime value resorts. Okay. So again, your more affordable level, they're adding 2 more of those in. They're going to be very space themed, kind of going with that Celestial Park, kind of vibe. And then their 3rd resort is called Helios, and it is going to be inside of Epic Universe.
It's pretty cool.
Which is pretty awesome. They're going to have a dedicated entrance for guests who are staying there.
And I'm trying to think of something that another theme park
I don't know.
Disney doesn't
there
have
is
that.
one in it.
I mean, Disney tried,
right?
And that was a fail.
Yeah.
Over at Star Wars Land, right? Everyone knows about the very expensive resort that no one ever stayed in.
And it's no longer there.
It's no longer, it's there, but you can't get to it.
Yes.
But, so this is new because no one else has this.
Yeah.
So this is exciting.
Yeah, it's not outside of the gates. Like, it is inside the parks. You're going to have a theme park view from your window.
And there's going to be people that are going to pay to stay there, folks.
Yes.
Yeah, because they can just walk out into Epic.
Right. Yeah. And price point on this one, I feel like is kind of yet to be determined as what it's officially going to get categorized in the end. Right now, looking at packages for some of my clients, it's coming in under your like premier top level resorts, but above your value. It's
so what kind of
coming
price
right
range
in the
is
middle.
that? Depending upon, I know you can't really get specific because of time of the year.
Like if I'm looking at spending 4 or 5 days there at a value, you're maybe looking at like $1,000 over those days. This would maybe be closer to like $2,000.
Okay.
With your tickets and everything.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more expensive maybe, but as of right now, I don't think Express Pass is included in it. So I think that's why it's coming in below your
pricey,
top
folks.
tier.
But Epic doesn't have Express
Right.
Pass.
Epic's not going to have Express Pass to open.
Anyway.
So it makes sense that the hotel that is literally in the park
doesn't
include that. And so even though it's in and I'm sure, you can get your top tier rooms and get pretty pricey.
Sure.
But I've been pleasantly surprised with the price point on it, at least a couple of weeks that I've looked at it for quotes. Okay. So it's not totally out of the question to get to stay there if you want to.
Gotcha.
Now, again, remember, if you're at any of these hotels, you are just on the Epic side. So you're going to have to commute, which a lot of people were concerned about because
it's a cross drive.
a big interstate.
If you're familiar with iDrive, you would know this is not just a couple lanes.
Right. So Universal has thought ahead of this, and they are putting in a dedicated bus lane. So it's going to be a lane that just the Universal buses can drive through, kind of similar to Disney has added a few of these on their property to help the buses get through that traffic a little bit easier so they're not in the traffic. And the goal, they said, is that it should only take 12 minutes from one point to the other. So from Epic over to the other side should just be a 12-minute bus drive. Right now, it could probably take you about 15 to 20 minutes.
And here's the thing.
So
yeah, and I mean, I think it's, in fairness, again, Universal has put a lot of time and effort into this. Mm-hmm. Put your patient pants on because it's new, folks. It's gonna have some wrinkles. They're gonna have, it's not a failure.
No,
rides go down.
Yeah.
They go down. I mean, what was that? The Rip, Ride, Rocket?
Yes.
Is that what they used to be called? Mm-hmm. The one that goes up the side? It's not there anymore, right?
It's still there, but it's going to be shutting down.
Okay. Well, I mean, it shuts down all the time.
Yes.
Because it gets stuck all the time, right? Yep. And here and in California, it's just one of those rides that for whatever reason, when they built it, it's glitchy.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So be patient.
And
give these folks some patience. Let them know, and kindness, because they've worked really hard on it. Mm-hmm. Again, I tend to be a Disney person, but I'm gonna go try this out. Mm-hmm. It may not still be my go-to, but I'm definitely gonna give it some time and go see it. And I think you just got to give them time.
Especially first year. If you're going opening day or anywhere in those first few months, I mean, how many of the rides did I say has a brand new technology that we've never seen before, right?
I mean,
they don't know how that's going to react
like
when you got volume.
Unveiled the trackless
rides.
Yeah. We now know that's great unless a speck gets on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, because you think about how much Rise of Resistance and Ratatouille went down when they first opened, right?
Because they had to learn all about that, and then the animatronics go down. And so when there's technology, technology's awesome when it works, but it decides not to work sometimes, and it's not their fault. So, like you said at the beginning, this is the first time an entire theme park is opening at one time.
Yeah.
With hotels, restaurants, characters,
new bus lane
across I-4.
You're right.
4 new lanes, right?
Yeah.
So I gotta tell you, again, I'm not usually, the person who's giving Universal credit for a lot, but this is like legendary.
Yeah.
If they pull this off,
It's gonna be.
This is epic.
Epic.
So, yeah, it's exciting.
Wonder how they got the name.
I know, right? So I know we're getting close on time and everything, but what else is there important that you think you should share with us about Epic?
I mean, that's a lot of your basics and a lot of what we know right now. I'm sure as we start to get closer to it, like we've talked about, tickets are going to be the big question mark moving forward. Express Pass, going to be a big question mark going forward. Reservations. Like, we don't know the answers to a lot of that. Universal, when we kind of asked them questions about it, was like, soon. That was the
still figuring
answer.
It out.
Yeah. So they've got plans, like they've got stuff in the works, but again, like you said, it's a brand new opening. They don't know what's going to go wrong. We don't know what's going to go wrong. What's going to go right. They're going to figure out those kinks and those bumps over these next few weeks as our starting previews, right? Yeah. They're going to figure some of that out.
And I think that if you're someone who you want to be first and you just want to experience it all to get started, then you want to go as soon as it opens.
Yeah, to say you were one of the first
Get in touch with
people.
Jordan. She can get you booked.
Yes.
If you're somebody like me who's like, really, I need it to work when I go because I may not go again. You know, I need to wait. And so that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait just a little bit.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can do both. Just remember when you choose one, like I'm going to miss out. I'm not going to be first.
That first fanfare.
You got it. I'm going to miss out on all the exciting things that are going to happen right there, and I'm going to be watching the videos.
Yeah, probably going to be some exclusive merch those opening days. You know, that's going to seem tempting. you know,
merch. I'm addicted to all merch. Yes. If there's a T-shirt, I was on a work trip recently in a town I've never been to, and the hotel had shirts.
And you bought one.
Well, I didn't, but I was looking, and I was on the phone with my family, and they were like, "Really? You're going to get a shirt at the hotel?" And I was like, well, no, but it's really nice and soft, but I really feel like I need it. So,
I mean, I can't say much because they actually do have an Epic Universe merch preview store on City Walk right now that we went to while we were there.
Did you get something?
Yes. I bought my niece and nephew some How to Train Your Dragon merch because it was so cute. Yeah. And you could get it now. So I got it now.
There you go.
But I almost bought a shirt that said Epic Universe, but I don't know that I'm going to get to make it in this first year either. So whenever I get a shirt that's for souvenir purposes, I want to actually be there. Gotcha. So I resisted, but I was very tempted to get it because it said Epic Universe.
Of course, because it's going to be epic.
But instead, I just got one that said Universal Studios.
Oh, that's super cute.
And it's super cute.
The jersey.
Shout out to Universal's Spirit jerseys if you're into those. Softest one I've ever had. It is such a nice material.
Usually like how the Spirit jerseys look.
Yeah, but not the feel.
And I don't buy them anymore because I found that I get them home and I don't wear them.
Yeah.
But this one is like, guys, it's a game changer. Yeah. Like Universal's one up Disney. Yeah. I'm going to say they have one up Disney.
Yeah. If you like Spirit jerseys, Universal's figured it out. So get you some while you're there.
All right.
But yeah, I'm just so excited. Every time I hear new information about it, I can't wait to plan our trip for next year.
Right.
So, but May 22nd, all goes well. Epic Universe will be open. We'll give you guys more updates as we find out about them. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this preview and hearing kind of what to expect. Hopefully you're excited too. And we'll just see what happens.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a trip, get in touch with Jordan. She's happy to help you get Epic.
Yeah.
And it'll be great. And until next time.
Yeah. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Magic and Beyond. See ya.